We get told what happens and we believe what we're told because those who tell us have credibility. Nobody saw a plane hit the Pentagon. Nobody. Never happened. Nobody looked at any evidence that Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda attacked the World Trade Center. We were told that they did it, and we believe what we were told. That's it.
Sunil Ram is an international defense and security expert. We're turning our eyes to Afghanistan and Canada's efforts overseas. Jamie, hi.
Hi, Christy. Sunil, pleasure to speak with you, sir. I've actually featured you in the opening scenes of a documentary I've just completed based on a conversation we had in November.
Oh, sure.
Where we agreed that the greatest threats to Western democracy are not terrorists, but private central banks and electronic voting. And Christy, thanks for having this gentleman on. This is a man who would confirm, if pressed, that 7 of the 19 hijackers on September 11th are perfectly alive and well in the Middle East. My question, though, is two parts, sir. In your opinion, how far along are we in the Western governmental transition from democracy to fascism? And secondly, if you think that it might in fact be necessary to remove democracy altogether in order to compete geopolitically with countries like Russia and China, who don't have to check with their populations in order to make military decisions. They can just issue a statement and it's final.
Well, I think in terms of the Western world, in the case of the United States, we are pretty much, when you actually look at the constitutional changes that have already occurred, you're looking at a police state. You are in a state of fascism south of the border. There is, and it's not really in the mainstream press, admittedly, because of course they're not going to say many of these things, but there is a movement within the United States now to take back the country from the corporate bankers, the corporate elite that effectively owns the U.S. Congress. And this isn't conspiracy theory stuff. These are known empirical facts. In terms of,
though, Sunil, I'll dispute. I agree that America's gone way too far in its anti-terror laws and in its ability to invade people's privacy. But I think calling it a police state is going too far. I mean, they don't exert. The government doesn't exert control over individuals in the United States the way police states do all over the world. I mean, it's just not a fair comparison.
Actually, there, Christy, you're wrong. And this is part of the problem. People are being simply not told the known facts. For example, the change in the U.S. Constitution has allowed the federal government now to deploy federal troops against the population of the United States. That is how it works. If you read and if you understand the nature of the Homeland Security Act and the way it's worded, in effect, any right of the United States citizen can be rescinded. Let us not forget that the government of the United States, with the Bush White House, has systematically eavesdropped on its population. Legally or illegally, they've done it. And those are the actions of the police state. If you look at the rules and regulations and the sheer number of documented incidents in which police and security forces have acted outside of the Constitution against U.S. citizens, and this is the very important point, against their own people, forget anybody else, the list is huge. And this is part of the problem. Fox News and CNN and ABC, all these mainstream news agencies simply do not report this or underreport it.
State and corporate powers, according to Mussolini, who knew a thing or two about it, is called fascism. And fascism is coming to America.
And a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no.
This entire Al-Qaeda myth is created to keep you under control. This is the end game of this police state agenda. And it's not about the officers, it's about the program. We keep crime out of control, so we turn to our governments. say, please keep us safe. Buy these men tanks and helmets and shields. And then our forces are eventually turned against us when the economy collapses. That's how totalitarian regimes are set up, where the forces are used to keep you under control. There's not the external threat that we are being told about. Your comprehension of this is the only threat.
You, with your first caller, have lost all credibility. Are you suggesting today that 7 of the bombers that went into the World Trade Center, could you say right now publicly that they're still alive?
Yes, actually it's been openly documented in the U.S. press, actually, which shows sort of what you don't seem to know, which is public knowledge. In fact, within days of the incident, a number of these individuals that were named were shown, and they clearly were the people that the Americans had claimed were supposedly on the flight. So this isn't my opinion, this is fact. Now let's put a couple of things in context here. Let's not forget that I spent a decade as a military advisor in that region, operating at a pretty high level. So I'm not offering you an opinion or an academic view. I'm offering you first-hand knowledge. Whether you choose to believe it is rather up to you. The point is, I'm simply offering you the facts. You go look them up yourself. You don't have to believe me. I'm not here to convince you one way or the other.
People say, well, who are you? What are you talking about? How do you know this? Where's your evidence? When I say no plane hit the Pentagon, you say, oh, what do you mean? No, what do you mean? Prove it. Where's your evidence? You need to shift your paradigm so that when they tell you that a plane hit the Pentagon, you say, where's the plane, homie? Where's the seats and the people and the wings and the jets and the black box? It never happened. It is fiction. You were told that it happened and you believed what you were told because those who told you have credibility. That's it. You need to shatter this myth in your mind. It never happened. See a plane crash in Pennsylvania. It never happened. And you don't demand evidence.
Jamie, go ahead.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much time I have, so let me start off by giving you my book recommendation.
Oh, what is it? Sorry, go ahead.
Surviving the Cataclysm by Webster Tarpley.
Okay, thank you.
This is a book that has detailed in advance the exact economic collapse that we are going through, released in 1999, and then re-released last year, basically with a preface saying, I told you so, now here's what we need to do about it.
Right, yeah, okay.
You mentioned Greece and these countries that can't pay their debt. Who's going to pay for it? The answer is nobody. And we're going to have our resources seized as collateral for non-repayment. And we don't have a political party that's standing up and telling the truth. That's why I'm going to start the Truth Party, and I'm not going to be kissing babies. I'm going to be letting everybody know what's happening for real.
You can't have an impact on politics unless you have millions of dollars. This party has no money. That's how you know we represent the people. I'm sure I don't look like a happy, smiling politician full of hope, waiting to kiss your baby. I'm here to deliver a wake-up call. Canada, United States, Europe, your liberty is hanging by a thread. We've in effect already been taken over. Banks have conspired with our governments to privatize our resources, collapse our economies, and consolidate their empire.